There is a mark on my gatepost. I walked past it for almost 2 years before I really saw it. It's carved into the limestone, not painted on, not affixed, not decorative tile. Cut into stone by someone who meant it to stay. There are actually 2 marks here, and once you see that, everything changes. The 2 carvings sit side by side, offset slightly, but clearly companions. On one side, 3 vertical sections, a flag. On the other, what appears to be a powder horn, small end, rounded body, ring clasp. Together they make a single statement. They face the street. They were put there for the village to read, not for the household to see on their way out. The other carving is different, simpler, geometric, an inverted V, clean-lined, precise. That one wasn't put there for the village. That one was put there by the man who cut the stone, saying the only thing a craftsman could say in 1845 in a village in the Creuse. I was here. I did this work. 2 men, 1 gatepost, both of them gone for 150 years, and I am the one standing here reading them. The upper carving is a tricolor flag, not a symbol, not an abstraction, a flag. Blue, white, red. 3 vertical sections cut into limestone, facing the Grand Rue, readable by every neighbor who walked past this gatepost from the day it was set. The tricolor, le drapeau tricolor, was born in the Revolution. The white of the Bourbon monarchy absorbed into the blue and red of Paris, the colors of the people. It became the flag of the Republic, the flag of the army, the flag that men carried into battle and died beside. By 1845, when this house was almost certainly built, the tricolor had survived the Terror, the Directory, the Consulate, the Empire, the Restoration, and the July Monarchy. It had been raised and lowered and raised again. It had meant different things to different governments, but to the people, to the villages, to the market towns, to the farmhouse kitchens of the Creuse, it meant one thing consistently. We are French. We are Republican. We are not going back. And beside the flag, a powder horn, small end for measuring, rounded body for holding, ring clasp for attaching to a belt or a strap or a soldier's kit. Someone in this house carried a weapon for the Republic, or honored someone who did. A father, a grandfather, a son who came home, or didn't. This is not a decorative choice. This is not a builder's flourish. A flag and a powder horn cut side by side into the stone of your gatepost is a statement that every literate person in Clugnat in 1845 could have read immediately and completely. This is a Republican household. Someone here served. We remember. We are not ashamed. Because there was still something to push back against. The Revolution had sent men with chisels into the great houses of France, not just to arrest the aristocrats, not just to guillotine them, but to erase them, to chisel their family arms off chimney breasts, off gateposts, off the stone faces of buildings that had displayed those names for generations. The mark was the man. Destroy the mark, destroy the memory. 17,000 people were executed in the Terror, but in the generations that followed, new marks went up, Republican marks, deliberate, public, carved in stone, not erasing the past, answering it, which makes the survival of some people almost impossible to explain. Adrienne de Lafayette, wife of the Marquis de Lafayette, the man whose name is on streets all over France, the man who fought in the American Revolution, carrying that same tricolor ideal across an ocean, was imprisoned during the Terror. Her mother, her grandmother, and her sister were all guillotined. She watched them go. She expected to follow. She didn't. Why she survived when almost no one of her class and family connection did remains one of the quieter mysteries of that period. She was eventually released through the intervention of the American ambassador, James Monroe. But the interval between her family's execution and her own release was long enough that survival was not guaranteed. She spent the rest of her life working to free her husband from an Austrian prison, raising her children, managing what remained of the Lafayette estates, including Chauvignac in Auvergne, which is not very far from Clugnat. The Creuse and the Auvergne share a border, the same limestone, the same walnut trees, the same slow rivers, the same memory of what the Revolution cost and what it was worth. My house was built between 1830 and 1860, the generation after the Terror, the generation that inherited both the Republic and the memory of what it had cost. The man who built this house, and I say man because that was the world, though the woman of the house almost certainly had opinions, had a shop on the ground floor opening onto the Grande Rue. He was someone, a notary perhaps, a pharmacist, a civic official, someone who understood that a tricolor flag and a powder horn carved by the side into the stone of your gate was not decoration. It was a confession of faith. This is a Republican household. Someone here served. This house stands with the Republic. In a village of 650 souls in the middle of France in 1845, that statement cost something to make. The Revolution was not ancient history. Their grandparents remembered it. Some of them may have lived in it. And below that statement, the mason who cut the stone left his own mark. Not political, not civic, just, I cut this stone. Remember that I was here. I don't know the name of the man who commissioned this gate. I don't know the name of the mason who cut it. The chisel men of the Terror didn't come to Clugnat, or if they did, they missed this corner of the Rue Martin-Nadeau. The stone survived. Both marks survived. And now an American woman from Idaho, who bought this house for reasons she is still understanding, walks past them every single day. The eyes have to be prepared before the thing that was always there becomes visible. I walked past this gate for almost 2 years. Now I'll never not see it. If you want to see what I find next, hit subscribe, because History Detectives Episode 3 is coming, and The Plate That Came Home has a story that stopped me cold. And if you'd like to help keep the little old lady investigating, there's a PayPal, an Amazon wishlist, and a Buy Me a Coffee link, all in the description. Thank you truly for being here.